We are live now. Ladies and gentlemen, today I bring to you a very inspiring person on my show, Inspiring Lives. And as I always promise you, I find out the best of the thought leaders, the world's best people who have done so much work in their life and who always inspire others to uplift, to elevate, and to add value. And today I bring to you Michelle Mras. Imagine if you could live your life unapologetically. How would it be? From being fearful, always saying anxiety, and from living a life of self doubt and self sabotage, she became a leader and hope for thousands of people. From being a coach who is a transformational coach, I've seen her work, I've seen her contribution, I've seen the kind of battles she have gone through, and still among all the battles, she shone like a star. So today she coaches thousands of people across the globe, and she's on mission to help people to make them their best version, to conquer their inner critic, to stand in their potential. So Michelle feels if you want to be purposeful, you have to live a life outside your comfort zone. You have to uplift others. You got to add values. And that's how I consider her to be the most inspiring person. And I feel so immensely blessed to have her on my show today, Inspiring Lives. Michelle, thank you so much. It's morning 5 in Colorado, USA. You're still awake. You've been so kind that you just like compromised your comfort and came to the show. And I feel totally blessed to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My honor.
All right, Michelle. It's like you know, uh, I have seen your story. I have seen the initial life of struggle, starting from the age of 16 when you had to face the harsh reality of the world, followed by in later on in a very horrendous car accident, which was so disastrous. Even now you are battling with your cancer, and where the doctors gave you a life of 3 months, you still come out safe with every year. And I kind of think that you are one of the earth angel, who God has chosen to save lives, to inspire others, and to set inspiration. And that's the reason God had been so kind to bring you with us today. And not only you are spreading your wings in many countries, now today thousands of people are going to get inspired by your story in India. So we are so blessed to have you. Please share with us what worked as a motivation behind such bounce back in your life.
I didn't want to die. It really, that was it. Is when everything was hitting me, everything hit me. But you've heard stories about people when they say on their deathbed, the last thing on their mind wasn't how much money did I make? It was who did I impact? Do people know I love them? Did I make a difference in one life in this world? And that's really what went through my mind. And so at 16, I just wanted to live. After the car accident, it was more of, I didn't live yet. I can't go yet. Don't take me yet. And so it was more of a motivation to go find who I am. And that's why my passion as a coach is to help people find uniquely who they are so that they live a full life. Because here I was with my car accident, I was like 45. And I realized when I was trapped in my head for 18 months, not being able to walk, not being able to talk, that I wasn't living. I thought I was living. I did what my family told me. I went to school. I have 2 children. I was married. I have a house. I have a dog. I have a cat. I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. But when I had that accident and I was stuck in my mind, I realized I never lived. I was pretending to live. And so my job as a coach now, it's my calling, is to wake people up. Who are you? Go be you, because the world needs you.
Visual, very, very inspiring. Often we have seen people when they come into a lot of tough situation, they become victim of the situation. They become such a big critic of themselves. They start doing self-sabotaging and they start playing victim cards. They start blaming other situation. And in fact, they have all the rights to blame, right? Still, I have seen your story to be so inspiring. You have come out, bounced back so forward and so better. And your story today moves us, people in India. And I feel totally fortunate. I'm just like totally blown away by your story. And I feel totally fortunate that today I have a chance to host someone like you and to also write a book on you, to be chapter on my book. So I feel totally fortunate for this. Thank you so much. Michelle, tell me one thing. I have heard in your story, I've read, well read about it, that you've been someone who are hyper focused on what you always lacked in your life, and being in a denial state, how you have discovered the greatest potential to come out to be as a winner, emerge as an inspiring person for everyone around. So, not only a life was a purpose. So, what is that purpose? Or were you just like so much, like over with that kind of playing with a victim card and being in that stuck in the same situation? Wasn't it helping you anymore? What was the thing which awakened you to come into this great potential?
The thing that brought me out really, I played the victim card for many, many years. I said, oh, my parents made me go to school. My parents did this. Oh, because my parents didn't let me do this. It was always my parents. I was always blaming my past. And I think with my cancer, I realized I have to take responsibility for me. It doesn't matter what happened to me in the past. I can choose to say it's their fault. I'm a victim, and I have no control of the matter. But the fact of the matter is, there's only three types of control in this world. There is my control, there is the other person's control, and then there's God and the universe's control. I can control how I react. So when I look back at my past and then I looked at my cancer, I went, why me? Wait a minute. And I stopped myself. My parents didn't do this to me. God didn't do this to me. What did I do that was different? What did I do in my life? And I looked back at everything I was doing and I went, I never took care of my health. I was always criticizing myself. I was always telling myself I wasn't good enough. I was always saying, you're not smart enough. I was always beating myself up because I always wanted to be the best. And then when I wasn't the best, I went, well, then forget it. Then I don't care. And I went, did I bring this on to myself? Did I will it into the world that I would get so sick that I could go away because I hated myself so much? Did I will a death sentence onto myself? And so I went and found mentors. So I found a great mentor in Dr. Paul Sheely. I met him at the John Maxwell conference. So I met all these wonderful people, and they were saying, you are who you think you are. And I went, wait a minute. I have a brain injury. I shouldn't be able to talk. They do. You are. So what does that make you? I don't know. And they said, okay, well, you say you have cancer. Are you sick? I do. Yeah, I'm sick. And they do, are you? You're here. And I went, you're right. I'm here and I'm speaking. Two things I'm not supposed to do, but I'm fine. And so I own the fact that I'm fine. Yes, they gave me a diagnosis of cancer, but I'm not going to own it. So I live my life like every day. And so my thought process was, if I lived my day every day like it was my last day, if I lived every day like it was, I have cancer and I'm going to die tonight, what if I had lived like that all my life? What if I wake everyone up and say, why don't you live like it's your last day every day? And what will happen, you'll be really kind to everybody. You would actually love yourself for your last day on earth. You would enjoy your life. Well, why won't I live like that every day? And so that's really what my aha moment was. When I was letting everything pile up, I went, wait a minute. It's my choice to let it pile up. I don't have to. So I don't. And then I coach and I bring other people along my journey with me, because why should we live in self-doubt and guilt and regret? If it was our last day, what would you do? What if it was, your anyone in front of you, their last day? Would you want their last moment, their last thought to be a negative thought? No. So everyone I meet, I leave them with a positive thought, a better feeling. I leave them better than what I met them as. And when people meet me, they will always see me in a better mood, because I don't want that last interaction on earth for me or them to be negative in any way. That's what woke me up. It was my choice to be a victim or just embrace who I am and be unapologetically me.
Wow, Michelle, today I get a very, very deep lesson of life. You know, to live a life full of kindness, exactly, you got to live a life every day. You got to have your every movement curated so that you're making a difference. And we all human forget that. We get this bird to really add value in people's life. And we always think that we are going to stay here forever, and then we just do some mistakes. We think that we have enough time to rectify it, and in that we actually lose our life. I am so inspired by this thought of yours. I just was feeling like giving you a standing ovation, Michelle. Totally loved it. Michelle, tell me one thing. What what is the way? Because we all have that inner critic, inner bullying in us, all of us, that negative voice. You know, anybody can make us impact only on the external side, but every feedback, every voice which we take to ourselves, that depends on us. So how one can, quiet that inner critic, which comes up over and over again and tells you you are not enough.
I wrote an entire book about it. My book, when I was diagnosed with my breast cancer, I was traveling the world. I was speaking already, and people would say, "Oh, you are so lucky. You're traveling the world." And I said, "It's not luck. You have to remember, I had okay. When I had my car accident, I was stuck in my head. No one understood me. I understood me in my head. So my voices in my head, I had every inner critic and they had me under their control. You're not good enough. And they're attacking me. And I got very depressed. And I'm very, very depressed. And my thing is I argued with those voices. And so I would say, "What do you mean I'm not good enough? I am good enough. You're not worthy." "Yes, I am. Why am I still here? There must be a reason I'm here." And so I would go back into my mind of any story I could click on. So, like, let's say someone's afraid of heights. You're afraid of any high place. I was afraid of things. And so I would do, well, when in my life did I ever see that before? Oh, I was on the playground when I was a child, and I was very afraid of that tall slide. I was afraid of it. But I went up there and I went down the slide and I didn't die. So I told my inner critic, you said I'm afraid of heights. I know I went somewhere high and I didn't die. So you're wrong. And my inner critic said, oh, yeah, that was high. So basically, what I did every time I ran into something that said I wasn't good enough, wasn't worthy, I would prove to my mind, yeah, I am. So basically, the other one was, you're not smart enough. Why would you even think about going on stages? So this is now after my car accident. I'm already traveling the world, and they tell me I have breast cancer. So my first thought process, my inner critic said, you have cancer because you're supposed to die. You're not supposed to be here. What do you think you are? And the other side of me says, but if I was supposed to die, then I would be dead already, wouldn't I? And my inner critic says, wait for it. You're dying. And then the other side of me says, isn't everyone dying all the time? And my inner critic said, oh, you're right. Everybody's dying. We just don't know when. And then my other side said, well, at least I have a 90% chance of knowing what's going to kill me. If I have cancer, if I'm going to die, I probably am going to die of cancer. And so it was like I argued with myself, and my brain went, you know what? I'll leave you alone on that one. And so basically, whenever that inner critic comes up to you, prove it wrong. Prove that you've already done some form of it. So if you think you're inadequate, if you're not smart enough, if you're, too skinny, too fat, too whatever you think it is, force your brain to find another example and prove it wrong. If you cannot prove it wrong, then it's the other thing I had to do. If I couldn't prove it wrong, I had to prove that I really wanted it. So the other inner critic I got was, you should not be on stages. You have no message. And I would get scared and I do, maybe I should be here. Maybe someone else should be here. You see? And then my brain would say, my inner critic would say, what makes you think you're good enough to be up here? I don't think I'm good enough to be up here, but I think people need to hear my story. And my inner critic would say, okay, you're not good enough, but you do have a story that people need to hear. And it would back away. So what I found was sometimes that inner critic isn't a push away from what you want. It's actually saying, how much do you want it? Tell me, how much do you want it? I want it. I want to help the world. Okay, go. And it's actually pushing you towards your dream, not away from your dream. So you have to compromise with it. Find out, is it holding you back or is it pushing you forward? How badly do you want it? Your inner critic, it's your biggest champion because it actually makes you realize how badly you want something or don't want something.
Wow, wow, that kind of definition, that deep intellectual definition. I was just so engrossed in that entire conversation, Michelle. And thank you. That deep explanation, what you got. You have seen this life when you were stuck in those head of your own after the accident. That has got you a lot of clarity. Perhaps that was the reason the God was creating a gift in you. I kind of now find it as a gift which you were gifted and you discovered that gift during that time. We are so blessed that today, using that gift, you are enlightening so many lives. And we're so proud of you, Michelle. I really like say it from sincere bottom of my heart. We are so proud of you, what you are. Michelle, please share with us the story of being coach. You have shared the purpose that you being coach. Please share the story of being coach because not everyone can be coach. In spite of the fact that you have a story, not everyone can be coach. So, what about the few features you already had in you that helped you to be a coach with a difference? I've seen so many people giving a lot of feedback by heart for you. I've seen so many transformation happen through you. And you've been one of the person who was a torch bearer for so many lives. So what had been, those qualities which helped you to be coach with a difference?
The qualities that gave me the ability to be coached, to be open, to be willing to admit your strengths and your weaknesses. See, the problem, I believe everyone can be coached, but you have to be willing to be coached. So you have to be open for the opportunity. You have to be open to the fact that someone's going to tell you what you're not good at, really. And so what I think what helped the most was I self-evaluated. I'm very good at loving other people. I'm very good at listening. I'm very good at feeling feelings of other people. I can sense when someone's having a problem. But I know I don't like details of numbers anymore. Since my car accident, I don't like numbers at all. I know there's certain things I don't like to do. And so when I'm being coached, I'm not have to, I get to be open to their thought processes. And so really what coaching does is they ask a lot of questions and you have to be willingly open and honest with yourself, because coaching isn't putting things into your head. Coaching is pulling things out of your soul. And so you have to be able to be open and honest with yourself. So if you're sitting around doing, I'm fine, I don't need any help, I'll work this out on my own, well, then forget it. Don't even bother getting a coach. But if you say, I need more, and I need someone to look at my life from the outside and find me and pull me out of that, you're coachable. And so that's really what I do is, as a coach, I look at the person and I talk to them and then pull them out of asking them questions, just a lot of questions. So why that? Oh, I do this. Why is that? Oh, because of this. And what happens is it opens up almost like a flower, and it reveals the beauty inside of them. And that's the thing about coaching is so many people don't realize who they are. That's my passion, because it took me 40 some odd years to find out who I was. And so I look at all these younger people and I do, oh, if you could only see who I see. Oh, okay, come here, come here, because I want you to live your best life. because the world needs you. You as you, not you pretending to be someone else. You. Yeah. Be open to coaching. Be open to what your flaws are. And if you can improve that flaw, improve it. If you can get a degree or something that improves it, great. If you get on a YouTube video and watch something and learn it, even better. So do whatever makes your heart sing. Bring out the best in you. And what we found with me was one of the things that I used to hold back on was I like to sing. I like to randomly sing. And I used to not do it because people would think I was crazy, right? What if I just started singing on the street? People would think I was crazy. It was something I wanted to do. So now I just do it whenever I want to. It changes your world when you allow yourself to be you, not what you think the world wants you to be, who you want to be.
Wow, so authentic, Michelle. And that's what your all pictures which you even post says about it all. The authenticity reflects so deeply. And that's what makes me so much admire you. And in fact, I'm sure a lot of people who follow you are or your secret admirer this way only. We're so proud, Michelle. Michelle, please share with us. A lot of us we are stuck in our mental conditions. There is that shift which needs to come in the place. For that transformation to begin, that mental shift. So from self doubt to self belief, one, we quiet the inner critic. And what are the 2 and 3 steps which one can take to really build a self esteem and self belief from self doubt? Because it's so uneasy. Usually people go in a very fluctuation note. So they start in a day, but the journey is very tough. Sooner the tough situation comes, they give up. They go into the same drowning zone. So, what are your takes on it?
I'm a big believer in 2 different things. So I share 3 in my TED Talk, my TEDx, and I learned those from my mother-in-law. So the first thing I say is you must always have a plan. Always have a plan. But you need to be flexible on how you get to that plan. So basically, life is like a giant GPS. You need to know where you want to go, but it doesn't matter. You might have multiple roads to get there. Don't say, I'm taking road A, only A. And if something happens in A and you can't get there, so you stop. No, you take a side road, find B, and go up B instead. So, number 1, always have a plan. Number 2, eat dessert first. I love saying that because what it is life is a gigantic feast. Enjoy your life. Eat the dessert, which is all the little things in life. And the reason that was so important to me was when I heard that, I never slowed down. I was one of those people who were overachieving, always pushing, always wanting more and never being happy. And my mother-in-law had shared with me was, you know, have cake if you want it for breakfast, but then eat healthier later. Why withhold something from yourself and then keep looking for other things that's going to replace it? And then when I had my car accident, that's when I did my TED Talk, I realized that the little things in life that I never allowed myself to have, like enjoying my children or walking in the park and just sitting there and sitting under the sun, the sound of birds. I mean, there were so many things in my car accident when I couldn't speak or walk for 18 months was I didn't enjoy the little things. I was so busy trying to be something else, I never slowed down. So when I say eat dessert first, I'm meaning enjoy the little things in life, the things that you think are so subtle and so, who cares? Because when I was trapped in my head and I thought I would never speak or walk again, it was the sound of birds. It was the feel of grass. It was the sun. It was just walking alone. It was the sound of water. I mean, all the little things are what I missed. Then the third thing is, oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, stay out of ruts. The differences between a rut and a grave are the dimensions. If you're walking and doing everything in your life exactly the same way and wishing for something different, it's the definition of Einstein's definition of insanity. doing the same thing and expecting something different. If you want something different, you must do something different. So step slightly out of your comfort zone. And I tell my clients, if you don't like change, humans don't like change. We like things to be very consistent. So do something just so slightly, because your brain is what you're really working with. So if you have, sugar in your coffee or sugar in your tea, don't put sugar. It's something that simple. And every day do something a little different every day. What your brain does is, oh, that didn't hurt. Oh, I can do that. And what happens is, the next thing you know, all those teeny tiny steps that you've taken out of your comfort zone, you'll look back and do, wow, I did a lot of different things. I'm a whole different human now, you see? And so that's the three things. Number one, you must have a plan, be flexible on how you get there. Number two, eat dessert first. It's the little things in life that matter. When you're at the end of your life, it's the little things that matter the most. And then the third is the differences between a rut and a grave are your dimensions. Step out of your routine so that you can live a better life, so you can be who you want to be. You must move or you're stuck. And then the other thing, there's a series of questions called by Byron Katie, The Work. Look it up, because you ask yourself 4 questions whenever you say a statement that says, I'm not good enough, or blah, 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 anything negative about yourself or about someone else. So-and-so bugs me. Oh, they don't. Well, you ask the 4 questions. It's, can I say that statement is true? Can I always say that statement is true? The third one is, who would I be without that thought? How do I feel when I think that thought? And then the fourth is, who would I be without that thought? If you ask yourself those quick 4 questions, it'll usually stop you. And then Byron Katie has much more questions after that if you need more. But those 4 tend to get me immediately out. So 3 and then 4.
Wow, Michelle, that's such a juicy conversation going on. Trust me, it's you have that natural gift of engaging people. You have that gift, and now I totally agree to it, 101%. You have gift of a message of a God. So I see you not less than an archangel. And I'm feeling just so honored today to have you on the show. And as you rightly said, our days are miniature of our own life. If you don't make a shift into your days, how do you expect your life to be different? So obviously there has to be that little shift that only creates that aha moment, and that only creates the transformation on a large. So that's the little steps. And I firm believe the little steps which matters. There are always the little things. There are always, you need to have a vision to look into the small details that makes you big enough. So that has given me a recheck on the message which I keep saying to my mind all the time. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, tell me, we have seen you always living a life after you being a coach with a high and clear thinking. Clarity is one you have been gifted after being a coach. And you are adding value in numerous people of life. Now, as a highly successful woman today, what is your message to other women? What they should not do, you know, in their life?
Stop being a victim. Victimhood is a choice. And the reason I say that is, a lot of bad things have happened to me. And I could curl up and say, woe is me. But what I did is, I was human. I did woe is me for a little bit. But then I got up and said, what can I learn from that? What was the universe, God, what was I supposed to learn? So with my brain injury, I learned I was supposed to shut up, stop arguing, and listen to my body. I learned that sometimes being quiet is good, and that the answers for most of my problems were right here inside of me. And I never allowed them out because I wanted noise to hide myself. So whatever you're going through, evaluate, what are you supposed to learn from it? Now, then, so that brain injury helped me learn to be quiet that was what I didn't say. The brain injury, I realized how important my body was too. Okay, so I was very into my brain. I was very in tuned how important my brain was, and I didn't really care about my body. So if you look back at my past, I was a different person. Look me up on my website, michellemras.com. I'm a different person. And then when I found out I had breast cancer, I realized my mind was important, but my mind doesn't move without my body. I have to keep my body healthy. So I learned, yes, cancer's terrifying. Yes, life is short, but I abused my body. And so whatever situation you're in, learn from it. Find the golden nugget, the light at the end of the tunnel. It may be very difficult to see, trust me, I know, but look, because there is always a lesson in no matter whatever tragedy you're in. Do not allow yourself to sit in victimhood, okay? You can be human. You can say, oh, woe is me for a day or two, okay? Then get up, find the light, find why you went through that. What did you have in your mindset that brought you in there? And how is your mindset bringing you out of it? And then you can be the best version of you. And we are not victims of our lives. We are gifted, like you were saying with me. I was gifted clarity with my car accident. I was gifted purpose with the cancer. Find your gift, find your purpose, find you in any tragedy you are going through in your life. I promise you, nothing is put in your life that you cannot overcome, guide, learn, leave a legacy, whatever it is. There's something positive that will come out of it, no matter how tragic it is.
Wow, Michelle, that's so beautiful. And the more I listen to you, the more I admire you, the more I love you. And people from India, including me, are sending a lot of prayers and a lot of healings and a lot of positivity your way. Because we are blessed, we have someone like you who is guiding, who is a guiding star. And we are so blessed. There are so many lives you still have to touch. And everyone, including you and I, are meeting because there is a bigger purpose. God don't want your voice to just stick into Colorado, USA, and the other states where you have traveled. In India, you haven't traveled, so God want your voice to be heard in India too. And that's the reason we are here. Thank you so much, Michelle. That's such a juicy conversation that has so much depth and that has so much meaning. All the nugget of wisdom, which I could clearly see, people can implement very easily and can shift their life and live a life unapologetically, as you always mention. All right, Michelle, tell us, like, what are those principles which we can help, implement in our life and can eventually help us and help others elevating their self? A lot of time we are always telling people, this you do. We are very good advisor. But what is the best thing as a parent you can do, which can set an example for your children to follow automatically? What is that which they can learn from your story?
Be the best version of you. Well, and I have to tell you, I've been to India. I received an award at the Women's Economic Forum in New Delhi. And then I went and spent some time in Bangalore with my girlfriend. So I was in India for quite a long time. I loved being there. But what you asked with the question about being an example for your children or, for the younger children and all, it's being you. Showing them that being unique is not a bad thing and that having different thoughts than other people is not a bad thing. Some of the greatest minds in the world thought they were crazy or stupid, like Einstein. The teachers, when he was younger, said he was an idiot. He was an idiot. He was beyond the teachers, and so they didn't understand him. And if you're out there and you're wondering, I'm already 25, I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm 45, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm 50, I don't know what I'm doing. Guess what? The greatest minds, the inventors, things like that, it was much older when they found who they are. You don't just wake up one day, say, oh, I'm going to be whatever, and poof, that's what you are. No, you grow, you fall, you get back up, you fall, you make a mistake, you change a job, you're growing, and every time you are shifting, learning, and you're getting up to something else. Whatever you're going through, whatever you fail at, find what you learned from the failure and apply it to the next thing you're doing. Because every failure is actually a fall forward to the next great thing in your life. So, as an example to anyone younger than you or older than you, and actually in my case, I see a lot both ways, okay? I learn from people who have gotten back up. You don't learn from the people who fell and stayed down. And I want you to remember, all of you who are listening, as humans, we are made to fall. We're on two legs, okay? It's not very stable, okay? Most all the other creatures on the world have four legs or more because it makes them more stable. But humans, we are born and we crawl on four, and then we stand up on two, which is far less stable. What do as children, as toddlers? We fall a lot. We fall, but we get up. We fall and we get up. We reach and we fall and we get up again. It's who we are. We're meant to fall, but we're even more so meant to get up. If you fall, crawl a little bit if you have to, until you can find something to grab a hold on, to pull back up and find who you are. So if you're listening and you're wondering, what kind of example can I be? Be you. Be unapologetically you, the best human you can be, kind to other people, loving to other people, and have a mission, something that you want to give back to the world. I don't care if it's small or big. Okay, just because you say, oh, I'm not going to be Oprah. Okay, you're not going to be Oprah. Not everyone can be that level. Not everyone's going to be the president of the world, whatever. Not everyone's going to be an astronaut, but you could be the best father in the world to your children, the best mother, the best sister, the best brother, the best cousin. You could be the best at your world. Be the best you. And you are the best example for the people around you. It's almost like a deck of cards. You have people line up around you in your world. If they see you being the best version, what are they going to be? They're going to do, you know what? I want to be the best version of me too. When I'm with you, I feel better. Domino. You're making an effect in your world. So be the best version of you. Be the kind human. Be the one who says, you know what, here, open the door for the other person. Be that person. Because what that does is it domino. It makes other people like a ripple effect in the water. You're the pebble in the water and it ripple effects around you. Be the pebble. Be you. And be the best version of you, unapologetically. And what we all fall into is, oh, my friends say that's stupid. Do you feel it's right? Yes. Then do it. Find new friends. Because not everyone around you really has your best interest. So make sure you've got the right circle of friends around you so that they can help you grow. You can help them grow into better versions of all of you. Make a difference in the world by being a difference in yourself.
Wow, Michelle. I mean, that was again phenomenal. Every time you speak up a statement, that's heart-to-heart conversation that stirs into the soul. So your each word is stirring into the soul. So blessed that today I chose to interview you. All right, Michelle, tell me one thing. Who have been those people in your life who have a deeper influence on you?
Well, there's so many. Where do I start? See, that's the thing. When I was trapped in my mind, that was the gift. I was looking back at my life of who did I like? Who did I want to be like? Who did I want to emulate? Who did I not want to emulate? Okay, there was a choice. So I wrote my TEDx. I did my TEDx about my mother-in-law because she was so different. I'm half American, half Filipina. So I grew up in the Philippines. So my atmosphere around there was women were quieter. Well, not all my aunties, but women tend to be quieter, and men were in a different spot. And my mother-in-law was so, she would sing all the time and she would, speak multiple languages and she just was always happy. And so I went, when I grow up, I want to be happy like that. I want to be joyful like that. And then I had so many teachers in my life who believed in me, or they were so smart. I had one teacher, Dr. Johnson. She walked in the march with Martin Luther King Jr. And I used to listen to her words, and I would listen to Martin Luther King Jr. speak because she knew him. And I remember thinking, I want to be a change maker like that. I want to speak like him. I want to make a difference. And then I got older and I went, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Because I heard him in, like, my father would say, you can't do that. Women don't do that. And so I listened to that. And then as I got older, I went, well, with my car accident, no, I really want to do that. If I could ever speak again, I want to do that. And so when I came out of that, so then I met, I'm a big reader. When I came out of my car accident, people were telling me I was a leader. And I'm like, how do you know that? And they said, you used to lead our Toastmaster group. Do you know what Toastmasters is? So they're like, you're a part of our Toastmaster. You're one of the leaders. I do, I am? They do, yeah. And I come home and my husband says, yeah, you have all these John Maxwell books in your library. I said, who's John Maxwell? And he is, you read him a lot. So I started reading through his books again and I went, John Maxwell was a huge influence in my life. And I'm like, who did I get this book from? And in the front cover was a woman, Joan Dixon. She was my best friend's mother. She used to give me books on leadership. So she's another person who was influencing me. So when I came out of my brain injury, I joined the John Maxwell team to become a leader, learn who I was as a leader. So he guided me also. And then when I met him, he had a guest speaker there named Dr. Paul Sheely from Sheely Learning. And he does a lot of mind work. And so I met him. So he's another mentor of mine. So I met different people in different parts of my life and I integrated them. So then, like, another person who's a big deal in my life is my husband, because he believed in me when I didn't believe in me. I had to borrow his belief in who I was and what I could be until I believed in me. So I borrowed his belief. So whoever around you that lifts you up, grab a hold of it. If there's someone who pulls you down, realize what you don't like about that and don't repeat it. And so really there's so many people. And so, like, right now I have my business partner we do a speaker academy. His name is Gary Barnes. He believed in me when I didn't understand what I could do. I speak so fluently and so easily. I don't think it was a gift. I didn't think it was a gift. I do. Everybody can do that. And he said, no, you have a way of saying things that one person can say it, it sounds like a sentence, and you say it and it sounds prophetic. He said, that's a gift. So my friend Gary Barnes is another person I admire because he saw me beyond what I thought I could be. I'm just a speaker. That's all I do. He said, you're a crafter of speakers. You get into other people's heads and craft their words so that it can come out to impact more lives. He said, that's a gift. So every day I meet someone who is a mentor, who guides me, who lifts me and helps me become a better version of me. So it doesn't matter where I am in my life, I will always have a mentor. I will always have a gift of other people. Two other people who've made huge differences in my life are my children. Because remember, I said I had a lot of inner critics in my head. I didn't believe I was good enough to be a mother. I didn't want to be a mother because I was messed up. I would be a terrible mother because I would put all my insecurities on my children. And what my children taught me was, Mom, we love you. And it was like, you love me? I don't even love me. We love you for who you are. And it's like, thank you. And so I realized from my own children that I was worthy of love. It was my children that made me realize I was worthy of living. Because my husband, I was like, if I die, he'll be fine. But my children, they need me. And so that they really are the ones who forced me to see in my head that I couldn't kill myself because someone else needed me. The world may not need me, but they need me. So your influences may not be ahead of you. They could be behind you, your babies. Oh, heck, in some cases, my dog, who would sit on my lap and look at me like, oh, I love you so much. I do, oh, my puppy, my puppy. So wherever it is that you find love, acceptance, you take it, you hold it, and realize I'm worthy. Because don't you know, you respect your husband, your friend, your children, you respect people around you, and they see worth in you. Grab a hold of that, because we are our worst critics. We are so hard on ourselves. And now, sometimes it really does take an outside view to realize that we matter in this world to someone, something, some anything, and grab it, because it will uplift you to the next level. So yes, mentors are everywhere. Find them.
So well said. Like everyone, in fact, even the hardest of the teacher, the hardest situation brings you the best results, brings you the best lessons of life, the best teachings. So everyone, we just have to be seeker, and we can find mentors everywhere. And they're everyone, including you, is always adding value and teaching someone, right? So there's always that exchange of upliftment, exchange of vibes, exchange of knowledge, exchange of good thoughts that always help you being the better person. Wow, Michelle, you are seriously a crafter of speaking. When you say people, I feel like lost in the story when you are saying, I could just visualize everything, everything, and that's what the power you got. And so blessed you are. Michelle, now we see we are stuck in a pandemic situation, and there are a lot of businesses which are not working the same way. There are a lot of education institutes which are not working the same way. Children, youth, they are stuck up at their home, or they are safe at home, whatever we call it at. But some of them are really making difference in this time and honing their skills, sharpening their axe for the better future. And some of them are still setting back. What is the message for you? What are few things everyone, all of our youth, have to consider while during this time of pandemic, when they have enough flexibility, being your best version? So what is your advice to those children?
My advice is, whenever you feel like you're being pulled back or held back in any way, like this whole pandemic, people are like, oh, everything's stopping, everything's bad, everything. No, stop that. If you look back in my last, since my car accident in 2014, if you look at a rubber band, you would think I was pulled back, okay? Pulled back, held back, not being able to move. But what happens when you're being pulled back is energy cannot be destroyed. You're being pulled back like a rubber. That's why I like a rubber band. I'm looking for a rubber band. So when you're pulling on a rubber band, you can feel the tension, right? And that's what the world's experiencing right now, tension. What happens with tension is when that rubber band, you let go, it shoots forward, right? Have you ever pulled on a rubber band? It goes boom, and it goes very far, very fast. What I see this as pandemic is now is the time of storing up energy to shift the world into another place. So instead of sitting back and doing, oh, well, I guess I'll wait till it all goes over. No, use your mind. If you're being locked down and you don't leave and you're shut down and you're not doing anything, your mind's still there. Work on what you want to do. Make something new. I'm a quality examiner for my master's degree. My upper degree is in quality systems management. Whenever someone would say, oh, we always do it that way, my first instinct is, you need to evaluate why you do it like that all the time, because that means there can be improvements. So when this pandemic hit and everyone's like, oh my goodness, what's all this terrible thing I do? No. Yes, it's terrible. Thank you. Yes, it's terrible. But where can you shift? Where can you take that pent up energy waiting to come out? What are you going to aim at? If it's aiming bad right now and the pandemic happened, shift it. Where do you want it to go? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Now is the time to prepare. Now is the time to educate yourself. This is the time to find who you are. This is the time for self-reflection. This is the time to say, you know what? I don't want that corporate job anymore. I want this. I'm going to start this and I'm going to do that. Like with me as a coach and a speaker, my whole world changed again when the pandemic happened. So, I had the brain injury, right? Shifted everything. Then I had the cancer, shifted everything. Then the pandemic happened, shifted everything. But what happened was I have no more stages to speak on. I don't stand on big stages anymore. Oh no, what am I going to do? It opened the world to me. Now I speak on many, many, many stages around the world. So, yeah, things changed, but look how big of a difference this is now. Yes, some people are like, oh, now my kids are home every day and they're never going outside. Okay, well, now you have time to bond with your children. Didn't you say before we don't have time? Welcome to time. What we did as a world, as we announced to the universe and God, was we have no time. We're always busy. We don't have, we don't. And the world said, okay, now you have all the time you want. And then we said, oh no, now what are we going to do? We have to be here. You asked for it. We asked to slow down. We said our world was too busy. It slowed us all down. Why? Not for punishment, but to evaluate who we are as people, as individuals, as families, as couples, as friends. Now is the time to figure out who we are, what we are, and why we are. Now is not the time to pity ourselves for what we are lacking. It's time to appreciate who we are and grow those people inside of us to be the better versions of us. I always see things that set back as a rubber band. Figure out what you want to do with that new energy. Redirect yourself and find you. So if you're wondering, evaluate you. And you will find your way, invent a way, and be a better version that you can bring to the world to help the world to be a better place.
Wow, Michelle. Wow. I get so glued to the entire conversation. Trust me, it's just not that 1 hour of deep learning. I kind of feel that you have given your life lessons to us just on a platter. And that's just like number of years you spent to learn those lessons you have shared with all our viewers and all the youth. And this particular channel is being watched by a lot of youth since I'm youth coach and I have a lot of youth follower. And obviously this the entire purpose of curating this show is to bring valuable lessons of those people who are living a life of exemplary inspiration, and you've been one of them. And I feel so blessed today. I feel simply I breathe in gratitude to host you today. Okay, Michelle, uh, tell me one thing. What advice would you give to your own younger self now?
If you watch the video, I kind of said it. It basically is, to my younger self is, yes, life is hard. Yes, you don't want to get up. But it's so worth the pain. It's almost like one day you're going to be a mother and you're going to be terrified. But when you hold that baby, be the most beautiful thing of your entire life. Oh, and every experience you have when you have pain, it's like you're giving birth to a child. So I don't care what you are, boy, girl, whatever. Every time you have it, it's a lot of pain to get what you want. Okay? It's worth it. Because once you're through that pain, you forget because you do, look what I gave birth to. I gave birth to another human, or I gave birth to this new concept. I gave birth to this new idea to the world. It may hurt, but I promise you, if you want it bad enough, it is worth all the pain you go through. So my younger self, don't stop. When you fall, get back up. And I promise you, every pain you've experienced will make you a better human so that you can give back to the world like you always wanted to. Be you. Get up and believe in you. And when your friends tell you you're not good enough, don't listen. Find better friends faster.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much. Michelle, I'm going to ask you one liner question. You have to complete it with whatever comes in your mind. Okay? So that will be, I just say an incomplete sentence. You got to complete it, whatever comes in your mind. Okay? Be someone who.
Be someone who?
Yeah. Be someone who.
Be someone who makes a difference in
Oh,
anything. In anything. Be someone who makes a difference.
life is all about, Michelle.
Life is all about love.
All right. When I face challenge, I first.
Look at myself.
All right. My favorite quote is,
My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. Maya Angelou.
oh, Maya Angelou. Yes, yes. I'm a big fan. I have got good collection of her and I totally love her reading. Okay. Wow. All right. Michelle, three books you swear by. Three books you suggest to everyone to read, to must have. Your own book?
Illusion.
Okay.
No, first, Illusions by Richard Bach. My book, It's Not Luck Overcoming You. And the third one is Failing Forward by John Maxwell.
Okay. Wow. All right. Five words you define yourself as.
Authentic, loving, joy, unapologetic, driven, purposeful, actually, purposeful.
So true, Michelle. This 1 hour of investment with you, spending this time with you, has really made me more with a lot more wisdom, have made me a lot of better person. And I totally get awe-inspired by all the thoughts you have shared. And I feel so blessed. And I feel so fortunate today I have a chance to talk to you. I'm seriously, this has been one of the juicy conversations I ever had. And we totally love you. I send you a lot of love from India. Michelle, please, final message you want to give to me, you want to spread the message for inspiring lives. Please share with our viewers.
The world is not always easy, but it's how we view the world and how we live the world. If you see the world as a scary place that is out to get you, it will be a scary place that is out to get you. But if you see the world as an opportunity to grow, lift, change, and make a better place, you can be that change. Change starts with you. Oh, as you know, Michael Jackson says, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. It's you. If you want the change in the world, if you don't like something in the world, start with you, and it will ripple effect into the rest of your world.
Thank you so much, Michelle. That was such a fabulous time talking to you. I have been one of the person who have always admired you, and today I've become someone like my level is upgraded. I have become someone who totally love you. So it was such a fruitful discussion. It was such a fruitful nugget sharing. You have shared your entire life with all of us, and you have brought such a juicy information, which are real lessons of life. And that you've been just an open book to all of our viewers. And I understand, I totally value. If you had been doing this session for people out there on the big stages, people had to buy a big ticket to come and listen to the same conversation. while you extended this, generosity, and you extended this generosity to all the youth of our nation to bring this 1 hour and that deep information, deep valuable information, deep valuable lesson. We totally love you. It was so nice to have interacting with you, and I feel so blessed. Thank you so much for being there with us on the show. And I'll be sharing the recording with all the people out there of my students so they can have lessons from the real inspiration of the world. They don't look out the heroes on the screen, and while they can just look out the heroes and heroes right among them and be someone like that. Yes, that's the one. So with this, I Priyanka sign off with Michelle, and we thank you, viewers, all the viewers who have been with us, who have been patiently invested their 1 hour with us, and also to all the viewers who are going to watch it and take learning. The entire purpose of Inspiring Lives is to bring the real life inspiration on the show who can give and share and elevate your life and bring enlightenment. Thank you so much, Michelle. Take care. Bye bye.